Greetings, fellow stargazers. Back for a short smoke. In this Kaywoodie. Extra long Canadian. And in it, I have a tobacco that was sent to me by a friend that knows I like Virginias. It was from Sutliff Private Stock. Limited edition. I don't know if you can see that tin, but it's essentially a cake. One cake is stoved, black Virginia. The other cake is a yellow Virginia. The other cake, a red Virginia. So you get 3 of these little cakes in a tin. I'll show you the tobacco, but you're not going to see the... Oops. I have spilt some of the precious weed. We mustn't have that. Can't really see it. Doesn't matter any because yours truly has almost finished the tin off already. The dominant aroma, of course, is the stoved Virginia, which is just intoxicating. You can smoke it any way you want. Smoke them as individual, combine 2 of them, combine 3 of them, whatever you want to do. I tend to combine all 3. I just take a pinch of each cake and squish it into a rough cut and jam it in the bowl. And whatever you get, you get. Pardon me while I have some water because it's ridiculously hot today. Let's get this little smoke going. This lighter, by the way, is a Zippo case. Some of you know that I collect lighters, particularly Zippos and the like, Zippos and Zorros. This one's from the Ann Stokes series. She's a fantasy artist. I use regular Zippos as well with the pipe lighter insert. This one is a butane pipe lighter insert, and it is made by Zippo. They introduced this about 4 months ago, and I got one, and I have been using it heavily. So far, it's holding up pretty well. I've already had to change the flint 3 times since I got it, but I use my lighters a lot. Excuse me. Whenever I smoke one of my Kaywoodies, it reminds me of my actual first experience with a pipe, which was before I ever became a regular pipe smoker. Early on in my YouTube journey, I did a video and I talked a little bit about my first love was cigars, and it absolutely was. That's, if you're interested in that, that very, very early in the videos. But my first outing with a pipe, I was also a kid, and as you may or may not remember, my first cigar was smoked when I was 8 years old. A pipe came shortly after that, and it was an old pipe that I found that had been my dad's from the 1950s when he briefly tried a pipe. And the pipe had gotten thrown in a box, and I found it because that's what kids do. They go through boxes that belong to their parents so they can find treasure. And it was a small Prince. I didn't know it was a Prince then. I now know it was a Prince shape, but it was small, and it was a Kaywoodie. And I swiped one of my dad's cigarettes and took the tobacco out of it and put it into the pipe. I have no idea why I thought that would be a good idea, but I did. And it was not. It was a thoroughly unpleasant experience. And I didn't take up the pipe again for many years. But I've often wondered what happened to that pipe, because I truly don't know. I'm sure it disappeared during one of several moves or something, or just went into that great void where our personal belongings seem to go when they're not used or loved. My dad never took up the pipe and stuck to it. He tried a couple of times to kind of move away from cigarettes. He was a heavy cigarette smoker, but I wish I still had that pipe. But these things change. Certainly a Virginia lover would appreciate this tin of tobacco, or people who like to blend, though it'd be pretty pricey just to keep on hand for blending, although I guess everything's pricey, so what am I talking about? The sun is beginning to mess up the video. I grab these minutes when I can to hop on, which is why I'm frequently in the vehicle, because I have certain I don't go into talking about family much because they didn't sign up to be on YouTube. We're the ones on here flapping our gum and pretending like we're actually just sitting in each other's living rooms when we're not. This is thrown out there into cyberspace, and who knows who's really watching it. But I have duties and obligations to take care of two adults in my family that require lots of care. So I have to grab these minutes when I can. I've enjoyed this tobacco very much, as is evident by the fact that the tin's almost gone. I mean, I'd smoke more of it. I'm not going to keep you too long today, I say. However, revisiting the topic of YouTube and community guidelines and rules and regs and all of these things, there are certain elements of YouTube, as with almost anything that we engage in that have the sets of conditions and terms and use, that are vague and that don't make a lot of sense. And one of them is the use of music in your videos. I am a fierce advocate of copyright and intellectual property preservation. If you create something, it should be you or your authorized licensed agent who are making a profit with it. No one else should be able to make a profit with it. Even though there are tons of people who do, they shouldn't be able to. I certainly don't want someone ripping off my art, putting their name on it, and selling it, making money while I got cut out of it. So I defend copyright. YouTube would love for you to use their studio, the YT studio, and use their online music library. That's wonderful that they have that. There's just one problem. The full function of YouTube and all that you can do with it is only available if you have certain kinds of equipment. If I had a desktop computer, I could access it. I have no idea if iPads can access it or not, because I don't have an iPad. All I have is an old Android phone. And on an old Android phone, you cannot access all of the YT, all of the YouTube studio features. They're not there. So I cannot access music from their library. It's not possible. I use Video Guru, which is an editing program that has music which you can use. And they have a direct link with YouTube. You know, you don't have to worry about, now, how am I going to take my video that I made at Video Guru and how am I going to get it to YouTube? It's very simple. All you got to do is press the button, YouTube. The music that is in there that I use is specifically for making videos. It's specifically about not infringing on copyrights. You simply cut, paste, and attribute who it was to. So that's what I do. And invariably, I have received multiple copyright claims from YouTube. Why? Why? Oh, why? Oh, why? Makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know what the magic number is of strikes you can get before they take your channel down, because I got a lot of strikes. My copyright claims are a lot, and all of them are from sources, as I said, Video Guru, which I've been using almost from the beginning. Early on, there was a couple of passages of music that was from CDs, which, by the way, used to be something you could do for review purposes in the world. I don't know why YouTube doesn't allow you to do it for review purposes. That's a legitimate use. But anyway, I'm going down the rabbit hole with that one. So, sometimes I use music. The last couple of videos I haven't used any music. I'd rather have music. I like music. Right now, I'd like a little Johnny Holiday to play me out. Johnny wouldn't mind, trust me. Or a little Shirley Bassey. The dame isn't going to care if a little bit of her soulfulness takes us out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury. Hope everyone had a great time in Columbus. I'll tell you some stories about that another time. See you.